I think the wise move is to own that. Not like, hey, you're putting too much work on me. No. I can do it. I can do it. That's the way that you keep your job.
Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the E-Commerce Evolution Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Curry, CEO of OMG Commerce. And today have I got a treat for you. I don't just have like an e-com guru. I don't have just like a former All-American football pro at the University of Texas. I don't just have one of the greatest e-commerce personalities on the internet today, but I have the Ecomm Cowboy himself, Chris Hall. Chris, welcome to the show. How's it going, man?
Man, it's going even better now that I'm with you, Brett. I have known of you for so long, but now we finally get to meet and talk, and all the things I'm doing even better now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where we know all the same people. We're in all the same circles on the internet. Yeah. Never fully connecting until right now. And so super excited to do this. So here's what I want to do. We're going to dive into how to build an agentic workforce, how you as a marketer can manage agents to become a superhero level marketer. That's what you're passionate about. It's what you're seasoned with. I've got a perspective here too that I can add to the discussions. We're going to do that. We're also going to talk about live shopping, how we can get into more free traffic, because if we know anything as ad people and as an ad agency, like ad costs are going up. That'll always be true. But I think people want to know, Chris. I know people want to know. Ecomm Cowboy, how did you get that name? How did you get here? And would also love to hear your football story as well, because I'm a football guy. But wherever you want to start is beautiful.
Yeah, the name Ecomm Cowboy somehow stuck around 2020. You know, I coming from being born here, being raised here, one of the first things that people
and here is Austin, Texas, correct?
Here is Austin, Texas. Texas. One of the first things anybody ever asks me, Brett, when they meet me is, where did that accent come from? Where is that from? I don't hear that very often. I said, actually, it comes from here. I'm from Texas. And anyway, growing up here, born and raised, I actually went to school down at the University of Texas. I was an All-American football player there. 2005 to 2009, we won a national championship, lost another one. Played against guys like Von Miller and Ndamukong Suh, et cetera, et cetera.
And now you were blocking these guys. And so like, first of all, you hear someone say play college football. That's impressive. Play any level of college football. Don't care what it is. That's impressive. You played for the University of Texas, All-American during the national championship run. And you blocked some amazing athletes, Von Miller and Ndamukong Suh. Come on, like that sounds like a nightmare.
It wasn't very easy. Easy. And there's a reason why Ndamukong Suh's name means House of Spears. Okay, he's hard to block. He's hard to block.
Who was the hardest though? Like who was the hardest person you ever had to block?
I would say probably Suh, especially his senior year. We played him in Lincoln, Nebraska. No. We played him in Austin, Texas in 2007. Now that was a different time. 2 years later, I think he had kind of hit a whole nother level on whatever was happening there, genetics, et cetera.
Yep. Still growing, eating,
Yeah.
Weight training, all that. Yeah.
I had just gotten my first team All-American tag, and then we played them in the conference championship, and Nebraska got 9 sacks that day. So anyway, they had a day of days.
Your offensive line coach was not having a day. He was not. You were not. No. The next practice was probably not fun for you either.
No. And you know what? There are even some of those clips that are still around that get brought up every now and again. He was the hardest. I would say I had so I started at all 5 positions. When I was starting at left tackle, had a little easier time with Von, but he was young. He was a freshman, so I had a little bit of an advantage. But anyway, that was a great experience. It was
amazing story.
It was actually through that I stumbled my way into e-commerce on the backside. The Cowboys had me the number 1 center coming out my senior year, and I decided to not do that. I just decided to skip the NFL altogether and go into nonprofit work. And I traveled a bit, Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, but mostly here in Central Texas. Mostly working with young men, high schoolers, college age.
Amazing, man.
And then in the midst of all that, one of my former teammates and we started a little coffee company together. And figured out how to sell it on the internet. This was 2014. No subscription brands back then.
Yeah. What was unique about your coffee brand? Like, what was the angle?
Yeah, so what was unique about it? We went all African beans. We actually had connection with a farm in Ethiopia, and he was
Ethiopia coffee. Love it.
Me too. So we were all African beans. He was employing people that were basically cast out and could not get work. He would employ them specifically on his farm.
Yep.
And so we were going African beans, and we were hipster third wave. If I had a little more market research about me, I'd have probably just sold heavily chemically flavored coffee that was already pre-ground. But anyway, this was a different day.
Yeah.
And so that was, there was nobody doing that in Austin, especially. And so that was the route that we went. And, Thrillist gave us some pats on the back, said we were in the top 15 new roasters in the country, et cetera. That was really where I just kind of muddled my way into e-com. Eventually got hired on with a friend at his agency. That's where I really cut my teeth. And then just kept going from there. It was at Bruce Bolt thereafter. Once I got hired at Bruce Bolt, I was the entire marketing team for a period of time.
And for those who don't know, Bruce Bolt, explain that product.
Yeah, Bruce Bolt. Here's for those who don't know, Bruce Bolt was a kind of and still is a kind of a unicorn in the baseball world. Okay, so a little different than football. But what they did was they took the commodity of batting gloves, made them with Cabretta leather, fancy leather, and charged 4 or 5 times more for them. Now, that sounds like, oh gosh, that's another D2C play. Just charge a whole lot of money. But the thing is that real baseball players burn through batting gloves like every few weeks.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And so if you can make a better batting glove and charge more dollars for it, there's plenty of baseball parents that will happily pay.
Oh, dude. But yeah, baseball parents, it's probably as expensive as golf or any other expensive hobby you can think of. Yeah. Travel baseball parents. Come on, that's like, 80% of your budget goes to
baseball. Exactly.
Rent, and then baseball. Those are your top 2 expenses. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was during that time, for about 24 months, we were quite literally one of the fastest growing stores on Shopify. And because we were growing at a scale that I had never seen, and was doing my best to manage, what I needed to do is I needed some help. Yeah, I needed some help. And so I started organizing these dinners downtown. We called it D2C Supper Club. And essentially what I was doing was getting the best available people together and getting advice from them. And that's where the whole Ecomm Cowboy thing just stuck, Brett. I just decided, let's just ride with it. We'll keep the accent.
Keep the hat. Was the hat, did the hat come first, or the hat just add to the mystique and add to the persona?
Well, I've been wearing cowboy hats since I was a kid, but I did revive them, because whenever people would meet me, they'd be like, brother, where's the hat? I want to see the hat. Yeah. You got to have the hat. So
all right. The people ask for the hat. The people will get a hat.
Give them what they want.
And now people always remember, for sure. That's amazing. Well, that is like one. I love the baseball scene. Baseball was my favorite sport as a kid. Then I kind of transitioned to basketball, football. But love that. Love carving out those niches there, and a better baseball glove. Super cool. But you were a team of one.
Yeah.
And Chris, I see that as the trend moving forward as well. There's going to be a lot more brands with the team of one, or a limited team. I mean, I guess we work with a lot of 8-9 figure brands that are omni-channel, and almost all of them have a multi-team member team. So I don't know if that's necessarily going away, but I do think that teams are going to be able to do much, much more. And I think we're going to see potentially less hiring, maybe even some jobs going away, but less hiring for sure. So let's transition. What are you seeing? What do you see in the future here with agentic AI and marketing teams? Paint the big picture, then we'll get tactical and practical.
Yeah, the big picture is, and anyone who would say otherwise, I think is purposefully hiding their head in the sand. The big picture is that there's a significant amount of white collar jobs that are going away. And we all love working from our laptops. It's a lot better than working with a shovel.
It is. It totally is.
But the sad part about that is that there are a lot of things that AI is simply better than you at.
Yeah.
And one of them is never needing to sleep. Another one is accurately uploading ads. And if we're frank, even though copywriting gets a bad rap with AI, with the right context, a lot of times it writes words better than
it's getting
you do too.
So much better, unbelievably better with the right context, the right framing, the right inputs, the right structure. AI writing is pretty phenomenal. Yeah.
And so you have, especially everyone in our industry, and this is a big reason why I was burdened to start the daily show that we have, is because, when your job requires you to be at the bleeding edge of the internet, then you need to know what's going on. Yeah. And anybody who's been on the internet realizes that there are new tools and capabilities that I couldn't even keep up with to try if I wanted to.
Right.
I think what's going to happen, especially in marketing, is that very quickly hiring will slow. That's already happening.
Agreed.
And then people who are now, let's just say you're middle of the rung organizationally, or let's say you're early on. Somehow you graduated and you snuck in and you're associate social media manager or whatever, whatever the title is, you snuck your way in. Those kind of people very quickly will need to become managers of machines rather than future managers of humans. If the job today mostly consists of doing things told, very quickly, somebody in your organization is going to figure out it's much cheaper and faster for me to tell an agent to do it instead of you.
Yep.
And I can cut you. And so the incentive is if you want to have a future as a marketer, founders, they're going to be fine. Yep. Directors of departments in large organizations are going to be fine. But everybody who's in the middle and toward the bottom, they're going to need to upskill this year hardcore as if their future depends on it, because it does. And that means doing all things.
Yeah. I think it's very clear that if your main contribution to the marketing team is more button pushing and completing tasks that you're directed to complete.
Yeah.
And I'm that stuff is going away, largely has gone away. If you can think strategically and you are very smart and you become a pro with AI, then you can become kind of superhuman, and then you become very, very valuable. I think there are going to be some organizations, if you listen to Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, where he's like, hey, we're going to still maybe we're going to grow our workforce by 30%, 50%. And they're, the most profitable company ever type of thing.
Yeah.
A little bit different. But he's like, but each employee is going to be doing more and more. And right, we're going to start increasing our expectations for the token usage of our employees, right? And we're going to measure that. And if you're not using a certain amount of tokens, meaning if you're not leaning into AI in a big, big way, then why do we have you? And
exactly.
Of course, that's an AI company, but I think that same kind of approach, that same kind of structure is going to be prevalent across all industries. It's like, hey, what kind of token usage are you using as a marketer? Meaning, what kind of AI outputs are you able to generate for my brand or for the agency or whatever?
Absolutely.
So, that's where it's headed for sure.
Absolutely. I would consider e-commerce not exactly the same as tech, but for sure we're tech adjacent.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in e-commerce is because of what is developing and happening inside of the tech world.
For sure.
And so whatever's happening there is sure to come here. It's just a matter of time. We're talking months. We're talking quarters. And a few things that I want marketers to pick up now, that were especially ones who aspire to go forward in their careers. What I want them to pick up is what I was endeavoring to do at Bruce Bolt, barely holding it all together while we scaled to the moon there.
This was pre AI at all, right?
It was pre all of that. It's pre all of that. But what were my responsibilities? Ad creative, that's coming from me. Copywriting, that's coming from me. Email and SMS marketing, that's coming from me. Board level reporting, that's coming from me. What's happening inside the ads manager, that's coming from me. What's going on with organic social? What content should we be making there? Are we going to be able to carry out this in real life event? How are we going to tell people about that? What should that be like? What should we capture while we're there? All that's coming from me. And so,
not quite as scary or as painful or as intimidating as blocking and Dominic Sue, but
not quite.
That's pretty intimidating. That's a pretty hefty load for one person for sure.
It's a load. And eventually I did get some help, but still, when you're up until 2 or 3 multiple nights every week, it just, it's hard to hold it all together. But the good thing is that now that requirement is actually doable. It is.
Yes.
It is doable. It just takes working inside of Claude or working inside of whatever tools or network of tools to knit those together in such a way that not only can you do it for a brand, but you can do it for multiple brands. This is already happening.
It is.
And it is reality. And so I think the wise move is to own that. Like, hey, you're putting too much work on me. No. I can do it. I can do it.
Yes.
That's the way that you keep your job.
Absolutely.
That's the way that you get more opportunities is, hey, not only have I done this here, but look, if I go there, I bring this team of agents with me that have already produced X result. They will get Y for you. You bring me, look at what I bring to the table. So this is the now, and it's the requirement in 2026 to upskill. This is really my belief.
Love it. Hey there. Thanks for tuning in to the E-commerce Evolution podcast. I want to take just a minute and tell you a little bit about my agency, OMG Commerce. Now, we work with some of your favorite 8 and 9 figure D2C and omni-channel brands, and our specialty is profitable scale. We love taking great brands and amplifying their growth profitably. We've helped a number of brands go from 0 on YouTube to spending as much as $1 million in 90 days while hitting a CAC or CPA target. We've also helped multiple brands launch on Amazon or just add scale to Amazon. We took Boom Beauty from 0 to almost $6 million in sales their first 12 months on Amazon. So if you're not satisfied with your current level of growth, if you're looking to diversify channels, maybe you're a little too dependent on Meta and you want to add YouTube, or you're not pleased with your Amazon growth, then we need to chat. So visit us at omgcommerce.com, click the Let's Talk button. We'd love to schedule a complimentary strategy session with you. And with that, back to the show. So you mentioned before we hit record, it's maybe time to get Claude-Pilled. So why should we get Claude-Pilled? And where should we start here building our agentic team? Where do we begin?
Yeah, very simply, I would recommend Claude simply because they're executing right now faster than anyone. Does it seem like that to you, Brett? I mean, 100%.
It does to me. It seems like they're disrupting, displacing, totally upending industries left and right. Every time they make an announcement, someone's stock is going down because people are like, Claude's going to replace that.
Exactly.
A little bit of hyperbolic maybe, but not really.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
I think I've got some friends that are playing with OpenClaw. I'm this close to buying a Mac Mini just to start playing with
I'm
it.
intrigued. I am. I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued. And I think there's a lot there, but there's a lot of safety concerns there and you need some guardrails. And so like, if you're a little bit more tech savvy and you want to take the time and you're open to the risk, I think that could be amazing. But like Claude's got all those safety mechanisms built in. So probably just start with Claude. Yeah,
absolutely. Start with Claude. And the first thing that I would say is, because I know at this response will be pretty immediate, is like, I don't know how to do command line interface. I'm non-technical. That's scary. Okay, then what you do is you talk with Claude.
Yeah, exactly.
And you say, I'm non-technical. This is scary. What do I do? And that process, be it a half day, be it 3 days, going through that process, I've been teaching myself OBS right now in terms of live streaming and how to navigate scene transitions, create all the things, etc.
Amazing.
That process will enable you to do what? Set up board level reporting that you and your bosses and your team can know, hey, here's how things are going. Here's the recommendations I would change inside the ads manager based on your philosophy that you have imbued inside of Claude. Okay, this is the reason you don't go buy a wrapper. You actually work with Claude to create the thing itself inside of that system based on those recommendations. Okay, now we're talking to ad management. Now let's talk about website. Okay, as far as website is concerned, PDPs can be changed, banners can be changed, changing out the heroes on the homepage. All of those things can be done from your laptop without ever having to leave.
Yeah.
You're okaying, you're agreeing, you say work from this folder, not that one. And then, beyond that, you get to email and, hey, we need to spin up a new campaign. Based on past performance, what would you recommend? You get these suggestions. No, let's go with this one. Okay, spin that up for me. Start with this copy, etc. And so you start making your way down the list, and what you realize really quickly is that not only can you manage Shopify, not only can you evaluate ad management, ad account performance, and have it upload your ads. You check them, you give the green light. Not only can you run your email, SMS retention program, you can even have it start doing research. Hey, what creators do we need to work with? Given these limitations, working inside of, this amount of followers. And what you realize is that very quickly you have developed what would have taken multiple days to do. You have enabled yourself to execute in a every morning type way, give the thumbs up, and then we keep cruising. So this on top of, specific tools like Kive is a specific generative tool that Bart at Dad Gang specifically loves, who is himself a one-man marketer.
Nice.
Over at Dad Gang.
What is Kive? What does Kive do?
Kive is very simply enables you to say, hey, this product with this kind of model, this is what I'm looking for, make it. And gets your product details at a cellular level exactly such that you can take that, put it inside of your Instagram feed, put it on your PDP, and nobody knows. Nobody knows that it wasn't from AI. And there are actually 7-figure brands that we've talked to where now their entire Instagram feed is from Kive.
Holy cow.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Crazy.
And so, this is an example of, hey, Chris, instead of organizing a photo shoot for Bruce Bolt coming up, what assets do we need? What needs to happen there? I can make that from my laptop now, and we're good to go for the upcoming launch in 60 days.
Wow.
So these kind of processes and putting them inside and equipping yourself with them, I think it makes you a person who is unfireable. And a person who is very hireable.
Very hireable. You're the person that everybody wants, and then you show that you can consistently execute. You're going to get more work and get more pay. Like you do the job of 5 people. Maybe I'll pay you like 3. And
then take that.
Yeah. And then now you're the most valuable person on the marketing team. It's amazing. There's probably a few ways we could go, a few directions we could go next. I've been Claude-Pilled for sure, using it to rebuild some of our financial models as an agency, using it to rebuild kind of our comp structure for our ICs, for our individual contributors across the agency. We're really just tying it to revenue expectations and retention of that revenue, and where it's going to be really easy for our team to see kind of their base and bonus potential. So but Claude helped me build all of that in a very complex way, but it was all just done through chatting with Claude, right? I've used it for some YouTube stuff, which I'm happy to unpack a little bit. But what I found that's really key here is you start to explore with Claude. You can use co-work or code or whatever. You just chat with both of those.
Yeah.
But then it starts building you stuff. And then as you build stuff, you want to capture that as a skill, right? Capture that as a skill. That way that can be rerun to those specifications again and again and again.
Absolutely.
But talk through that a little bit. Is that kind of the MO, the approach you're teaching and you're taking as well for all of these things, from PDPs to email campaigns to Instagram ad to Instagram posts? We're building skills for all of these, and now we can just deploy.
Yeah, absolutely. And taking that route, saving that knowledge and making them a repeatable task via a skill is definitely what you want to do.
Yeah.
So that you can have, the context saved there, et cetera, and be able to go back to them again and again. Something that we have coming out that I think should be crucial for all of us to know, just at an industry level, is taking, for example, the top 250 brands inside of our space, organizing them by vertical: health and supplements, apparel, sporting goods, et cetera, et cetera. This is something I've been working on as of late that should debut sometime this month. And then organizing from there, okay, what's happening with them marketing calendar wise? What promos are they running when? Okay, organizing that. And then from there, what collaborations have they run with what creators and what were the results, et cetera? Okay, how many ads have they launched? Boiling that down. And then making all of that, like you're saying, into a repeatable skill such that we can continually deliver that content and get gleanings from that.
Yeah.
Not that that's an exact fit for everyone in the industry, but to know those who are ahead of you and what they are doing, that becomes a great value for a person who is, I would say, Brett, at brands, a lot of times you are a frog in a well. You only see the sky that you have, and you don't have the view advantage of someone who is operating at an agency and sees across verticals, across brands, what's working and what's not. That becomes increasingly valuable to a person who is doing their very best to hold it together in one single spot, focused on one brand and product every day. So that's something that we're working on right now.
Very true. I love that. So I know you talked about being Claude-Pilled. You're a Claude fan, as am I. But what does your AI stack look like? Are you playing with other tools like Ecomm? Are you playing with Gemini and other tools? Or stitching stuff together? What is your? Because you strike me as like an AI master. Like what are you doing?
Well, one that I think everyone should look into, that I think more marketers will need to become equipped with, I reference this one specifically, is Wideframe. So Wideframe AI is wideframe.ai. I believe, I hope Daniel Pearson doesn't get me in trouble because I'm citing his domain wrong. But what Wideframe does is it takes the agentic world, agentic capabilities, and it applies it to video editing specifically. So I can come back from a shoot. We just did it. I can load all that footage into my laptop or from my Google Drive, and I can say, okay, based on this footage, here's what I'm looking for. I want it to look like this. I want you to get me 80% of the way there on the cut. And then after that, I will come in and fine tune. And then it will literally start going inside of your timeline and recreating all of that footage that you're looking for. You can say, hey, this ad worked really well for us. I want to change out this hook. I want to modify the body, pull from here based on the body, and then I want to change the CTA at the end. And then it will start operating. And so video editing is entirely time consuming.
It's crazy.
It's
the most time
crazy.
consuming, it's way more time consuming than graphic design and things like graphic design,
So much. And it is like the bare bones of creating ads now. I mean, it's the foundational piece.
It is.
And so in addition to Claude, what I'll do is I'll work with Wideframe. Obviously there's, a number of other things there when it comes to actually generating content. Higgsfield, I think, is the simplest place when it comes to bringing all those models together generatively. That's what I'm operating inside of a lot when it comes to actually generating content. But what I'm most excited about right now is Wideframe because of the capabilities that it gives me to produce video like this.
It's amazing.
Give me 80 to 85% of the way there, hop back into the timeline, and then get that thing out the door.
Wow. Yeah, my wheels are turning and spinning on that for sure.
You need to get on that one, brother. I'm telling you. This one it's so good. It's so good.
And we've got so many specifications, and I built so many skills in Claude for this is how we want a YouTube ad.
Yeah.
To be able to execute on some of that would be pretty amazing.
Oh, it's juicy.
Higgsfield. So that's pulling in different generative models to then craft the right copy for you, or
so it'll be more in the sense of making said video or making said frames. So it'll pull in VO, it'll pull in Kling, it'll pull in all of those various image and video models. And then what we're able to do is I can say, hey, take this image of Brett, put him in this kind of setting. And what do I do to get the right prompt? I literally just go in and I talk to Claude. I say, hey, Claude, I'm prompting Nano Banana and I want it to look like this. What should I tell Nano Banana? Exactly.
Brilliant.
And then get that prompt, upload your image, and then all of a sudden things have changed. This is how we create all of our thumbnails now.
Yep.
And then thereafter, hey, first frame here, last frame here, I want you to make everything in between, and I want this ad, inside of this ad, I want him to be doing this. I want this podcast read to look like this, etc. So Higgsfield is a great shortcut for anybody that needs to actually make with AI because it amalgamates them all together.
Nice. Amazing. What about any, personal productivity hacks? What are you doing? Is Claude running your Slack, checking your email, doing your schedule, all those things? Walk me through that. Yeah.
So one thing, because we have our daily live show, and what we are endeavoring to do is to be at the bleeding edge of everything that's happening in the timeline. What I have Claude doing every single day is pulling together a report. Number one, hey, what are the biggest stories in e-commerce? What happened in the past 24 hours? Giving me a full report on that, giving me a summary, why it would be important to operators. What are questions to ask regarding that content that wasn't answered in the articles? And then same with the tweets. Hey, based on what's happening on X over the past 24 hours, what are the most relevant tweets and things that are happening to operators that we need to be glued in on right now?
And are you giving Claude specific handles, specific people to follow on X? Or looking industry-wide? Yeah, okay. Cool.
No, I am. I'm saying, hey, the best content and the most relevant content I've found are coming from these 10 websites and newsletters. I want you to read them every day.
Yeah.
Stay plugged in on what's happening there. And then here are the follows that I consider to be top and bleeding edge. It's, David Herman when it comes to ad buying.
Absolutely.
It's Rock Kladnick when it comes to what is there to complain about on Meta today. All of those kind of things. And then give me a report. And we want to be able to feature those and talk about them. In terms of productivity on writing, you tell me your thoughts. I have still yet to take the plunge on Whisper or WhisperFlow or have you taken the plunge on this one? Tell me. You got to sell me because I've yet to go all in on it.
Yeah, I mean, what I've found, so a couple things, and for those who don't know, WhisperFlow, it's a way to just talk to your computer or to your phone. But I'm an auditory processor, so sometimes I like to talk. I like to process my thoughts as I speak. I enjoy doing that. If you ever use something like voice to text on your iPhone, and I love Apple. It's absolute garbage.
It's horrendous.
It's pure trash. It makes all kinds of weird mistakes. Like, it's just almost unusable. What I found with WhisperFlow is I can talk for a long time and it gets it right. You can also say things like, hey, you know what? I need to get this thing out to Chris Lang. I mean, I know I actually need to get it out to Chris Hall, and I'm going to do these things. But then when you hit go, the text is perfect. It corrected your mistake. And so it's pretty sweet. So you combine that where now you can just kind of talk to Claude in that way.
It's true.
Or I've also, I try to do some things while I drive. I still keep my eyes on the road, but just using WhisperFlow is it's magical. So yeah, I still find myself typing and then I'm like, shoot, why didn't I just talk?
Talk to this thing.
You can also say things like, okay, hey, these are the 4 things we need to do, or these are the most important things. It's this, it's this, it's this, and it'll put it in bullet point format. It formats it. So yeah, I think you'll like it, and you can do the free trial and stuff like that. Just see how that works for you. But I remember my buddy, our mutual friend Andrew Ferris, on his podcast, he's talking about Patrick, his partner, business partner, and he's like, Patrick's like, I talk to my MacBook. I don't ever type, and so I'm not to that level, but I am communicating verbally more. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Brett. I am convinced that everyone in our industry, and this is true for the individual, and it's also true for brands and agencies, software, et cetera. I think that we need to be very strongly making AI bets, in the sense of, hey, I'm going to equip myself with this. I'm going to upskill my processes, the teams of agents I'm building and managing, all of that.
Yes.
I'm also convinced that there are significant anti-AI bets to be made in order to stand out.
Yeah.
In all this way. Do you think similarly?
Yeah, well, just to make sure I understand what you're saying. So like Gary Vee, I've heard him talk about this recently, where hey, there's going to be a resurgence of analog. There's going to be people hungry for real analog human experiences, that are not AI in any way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I feel myself craving that as well. I love AI. I'm super excited about it. I'm thinking about Claude a lot. But yeah, give me some real human connection as well. Yeah.
2 things that I think ring that bell that you're getting at so clearly. 2 bets there that I hope everybody makes, and I've been thinking about so much, are number 1, going live. Streaming. Yeah. That's why I'm live streaming every single day.
dude, what a great move. Yeah.
But going live, number 1, live streaming content, live selling, I think 2 examples. Let me finish. Number 2 is IRL activations, in real life, getting face to face with your customers, your best customers, your potential customers, et cetera. Those 2 things, which require presence, they require sweat, and they require energy, but they also allow you to do things that the robots can't do.
100%.
And they also allow you to get, traffic and eyeballs and dollars that you don't have to pay somebody else for at the end of the day.
Totally. Yeah. And I think those in real life activations for brands, for agencies, is something that we're really good at OMG. I love speaking on stage. We do a couple events at Google. You do events at Google a couple times a year. I speak at other events. I think that there's going to be more of a premium on things like that as we move into more of an AI world where I want to go talk to experts. I want to have that human experience, and I'll pay a lot for it. And those connections are going to be super valuable. Yeah.
I, as a buyer, because I've been agency side, I've been brand side, I've been founder, I've been operator, et cetera. As a buyer, if I can get in person with you and I like you, man, you got me 85% of the way there. You got me in the door.
No like and trust like that. You can't build that any faster than in the same room or same physical space, or on a real Zoom call or something with humans. And so love that. Talk to me about live shopping, because I think I've always loved infomercials. I used to really like just the sales aspect of QVC. Sometimes I can't, most of the time I can't watch because I hate the product or hate whatever, but I love the salesmanship of it.
Yeah.
I love like the boardwalk sales guys. Like that's just fascinating to me. But talk live shopping, live selling. Why is that going to be valuable?
So right now, everyone in our space, I'll just say in the Shopify ecosystem, how about that? Everyone is completely asleep on Whatnot. Okay. For those who don't know, when I say Whatnot, there are some of the best and brightest in our industry still don't know what I'm talking about when I say Whatnot. Whatnot is a live selling app. That's all it is. It is QVC in 2026.
Love it.
Okay. Gary V's behind it. The Paul brothers are behind it. They've already made bukus of money on it. But what you'll see a lot of there is anytime anybody's in there, all it is live shopping. People have their credit cards out. They don't come for anything else. They come to buy. They're there to buy. And I know that there are a lot of operators in our space. When they see it, they'll think, this is for reselling. This is below me. It's not for me. It has nothing to do with our business. And I want to pop that bubble hardcore because BattleBox, John Roman, CEO of BattleBox, they sold their company for bukus of money. They've got multiple seasons on Netflix of content that they've created. Okay, I'm talking about a big boy brand. They came back and actually bought the business back. Okay, so they're back at the helm and they are running it. They're running it again.
Pay attention to,
So, it's a subscription brand. Okay, they've got a box of manly stuff that they're going to send you. Okay, what in the world are they doing on Whatnot? Because they're not resellers, right? I mean, they're not resellers. What are they doing there? You see like, $1 reselling. What are they doing there? Okay, they started on Whatnot last April, actually a year ago. Very, very native. I mean, very nascent, very recent when it had launched. They have been there. They started one session a week, and they started doing 2 sessions a week, 3 sessions a week. Now they have started deploying their TikTok creators that they have relationships with to come and host sessions on Whatnot.
Wow.
They've developed a back-end system. Hey, here's all our products. Here's what they can go for. Okay, here's what they can't go for. Are there any offers that we can create? Now they are to the point, they're definitely on there more than 3 times per week. They're on there several times per day.
Wow.
And Whatnot has become their number 2 channel in terms of revenue generation. Number 2. We're talking about a big boy brand that has already exited and they bought it back, okay? It has surpassed Amazon. And I know the other thing that people will be thinking is, they're cannibalizing sales on their .com by doing that. No, they're not. No, they're not. And John will tell you this.
Net new.
Crazy. People that never discovered them, bought on Whatnot, will come back and buy on their website. Okay.
Yeah.
So I say all this to say, especially in our age of rising ad costs, of e-commerce talent needing to show, hey, I am worth more than just pushing buttons. One thing that you can do right now is say, I am willing to get sweaty and embarrass myself camera and let me get on there and sell to these people. Let me make some dollars. Get me on that camera.
Yeah.
That kind of energy will keep
Are you
job.
for hire, Chris? Can we hire you for you be the pitch man for our brand? That's a little
the thing is I actually do. I've been talking with my wife. I was like, I just want to get on Whatnot so bad. Like we got to figure out something to get on Whatnot and start selling here.
I'm with you. I would love to do that myself. That sounds super fun. But that's such a big barrier to entry, right? And so as AI becomes the way to deploy so many things, even video and static images and great copies coming from AI, things like that. Well, one of the bigger barriers to entry, one of the strongest human elements is, can you get on a camera?
That's right.
And sell people and convince them, and woo them and charm them and get them to want to watch and then buy what you've got. And I love this so much, and I was kind of reminded of this. This is separate, but still related. There's a new site that's new to me that allows for like the liquidation of Amazon returns.
Yeah,
and now I'm completely blanking on the name of it, but it's like my wife, this has become her form of entertainment. So
All right,
she likes to go Amazon returns. And for a while, I was like, this could get bad. Like there's always Amazon boxes in my house. Always,
right.
I show up and there's like these giant boxes of cabinets and stuff for our family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But then this is when it was like, okay with me. She was like, hey, look at this coffee maker that I found. And it's like a $400 coffee maker. This thing is sick.
Yeah.
And she's like, current bid is $45. And so I can't remember the brand, but it's like a $450 brand of coffee maker, and we got it for $75. And so I'm like,
exactly.
Okay, this is good addiction. Let's keep this going. But here's what's funny. We were at a soccer game last night for my daughter, Molly. And I started talking about this. Then this other mom over here started talking about it. Then my wife came over and like everybody just started talking about shopping for deals, right? And like, I think there's just something about, we love buying stuff and we do talking about what we're buying. And so I think, live shopping, deals, some of these things have a viral component.
They do.
I'm a coffee guy. I never heard of this brand, but I mean, they didn't benefit because I got it from a discount site. But maybe like I'm going to buy their coffee filters and stuff like that. And so there's something about this live element that I really like.
This to me is so important to hammer home because it's a piece of everyone in our industry making an anti-AI bet.
Yeah.
In the context of our K-shaped economy.
Yes.
Americans still want to buy for entertainment.
They do.
Just because their dollar doesn't go as far, they still, I mean, all of our holidays are surrounding large shopping experiences. Okay. So, the Americanness has not gone away. And one of the ways
the funny joke that I love is like, oh, President's Day. What's that to celebrate? It's like, it's to buy furniture. That's
exactly.
Let's celebrate our founding father, buy a mattress. Okay.
Exactly. We're going to Lowe's or we're going to wherever. We're going to take advantage of this big sale.
Exactly.
And this is a way for everyone to still tap into that shopping as entertainment experience, but do it in a way that is new and fresh that you don't have to pay Zuck for.
Yep.
To do it in a way that surprises and delights. And here is my challenge that I would give to everyone who styles themselves as a marketer.
Yeah.
It is, in some sense, it's easy to sit behind a computer and click a few keys and complain about all of the cold emails that I got and to put a few things out in the world. And then we just read the numbers and, hey, it went good and I'm so smart. In some sense, that's easy. You know what's riskier is putting your face on the screen.
Absolutely.
And you becoming the salesman. That's a little riskier. Now you got people in your comments who are, remarking on you and how you positioned it. But the reward is there too. The reward is there. Yeah. And that's BattleBox has taken it. They're at 55,000 followers on Whatnot now. And man, they are they're live selling Pilled. And I am convinced this is another route that everyone can take in order to equip themselves and survive and thrive in the new age, the new era of e-com that we're in.
I love it. I believe you gotta go all in on both, right? How can you become this AI-enabled, AI super-powered marketer, agency leader, brand owner, but also make some analog bets because that's going to be at a premium. So love that contrast, love that tension, and they actually go very, very, very well together. So it's amazing. Chris, it's been super fun, man. I could keep going, like keep chatting with you for hours on end, and now we definitely going to hang out in person. But where can people connect with you? And like if people are like, hey, maybe I do need to hire Chris. I know maybe you're not actually for hire.
I'm not really for hire, but
if you do, what is your offer? Like, how can people benefit from you, or should they just tune into your show? Like, what can we do here?
Come to the show every day. We are live at 12 p.m. Central on X and on YouTube. Of course, you can sign up for their newsletter and all of that. But we have, I've basically pushed in all my chips. I turned down the biggest and best job that was ever offered to me.
Whoa.
Best opportunity I've ever had. And I turned it down to push my chips all in on being live and in living color every day. And yeah, we're having the best and brightest in D2C on. Brett, you are coming very soon.
Yeah,
you will be
dude,
on show.
I'm pumped about that. Thanks for the invite. And dude, you get the energy, you get the personality. Like you were
Appreciate
you were born to do this thing. So
appreciate that.
So it's
at
Ecomm Cowboy.
At Ecomm Cowboy. Come find us. We're there every day. Tune in, type in, and come on the show.
Sweet. Chris Hall, Ecomm Cowboy, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, thank you so much. Ton of fun.
Thank you, man.
Awesome. As always, thank you for tuning in. We'd love to hear from you. And if you found this episode helpful, which I know you did, share with someone who you think would benefit from it. And with that, until next time, thank you for listening. Hey, as we wrap up this week's episode, I want to mention, if you're a great brand, if you're scaling high 7, 8, 9 figures in D2C or omni-channel, we should potentially talk. We've worked with some of your favorite brands, and we'd love to consider working with you as well. We are masters at unlocking new channels like YouTube, unlocking new scale on platforms like Amazon, where we can add up to 8 figures in new growth. And we've got multiple ways we can work with you. So we can do the full service thing and work like a partner with your team and really run everything. Or we can offer consulting. So maybe you've got an internal team that really knows their stuff, but there's an area they don't know really well and they'd like to get some consulting. We can do that. We also have tons of free guides, free resources, free materials you can check out. All of that, get started at omgcommerce.com. And we can't wait to help you scale profitably.